more. Today is May 4th, 2014. I'm interviewing Marian Geary, a longtime parishioner at Immaculate Heart of Mary Parish in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Okay, thanks for speaking with me today, Marian. Why don't you tell your name again and tell about when you joined Immaculate Heart?
Well, my name is Marian Geary, G-E-A-R-Y, and we joined Immaculate Heart in 1955. Let's see. Yeah, 1955.
You and your husband?
Yes, and by that time we had several children.
Okay.
And I can give you their names.
Please.
And the years they were born.
Great.
And then I'll include the ones that were born after that.
Okay.
All right, my husband was Francis J. Geary. He was a teacher at Catholic Central for many long years. He died in 1985, and so we've been pushing along without him. I had 6 children, and Patrick Geary was born in 1950. Timothy was born in 1952. Michael in 1954. And Maureen in 1956, Sheila in 1959, and Kevin in 1963. But it was in 1955 that we moved to Johnston Street and in Immaculate Heart of Mary's Parish. And Maureen was baptized there, the first of my children to be baptized at Immaculate Heart. That was in 1956. And
Where were you before that, Marian?
we were in St. Francis Parish, and I lived on Brown Street in a duplex with my sister.
Okay.
And didn't want to be there, and so my sister moved to Traverse City, and so we were in just one half of the complex. And so we looked for something else and found the house on Johnston Street. So
Okay.
we moved over there.
Good.
Yeah, it was great.
Good.
It was great. I've always been happy there.
Uh-huh.
We should have put a den or something on when all these kids came. It was a 3-bedroom house, but we decided to refinish the basement and make a bedroom down there for 2 of the boys, so
Okay.
we were able to.
You made do.
Just fine, yes, we did. We made do just fine.
Uh-huh.
So, let's see, and then Sheila was born in 1959 there, and Kevin in 1963. So.
So who was the pastor, Marian, when you came in 55?
Kilgore.
Okay.
What's his first name?
Father Charles.
Charles Kilgore. Yes.
Okay.
He was the pastor, and we just had a little church.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah, tell about the little first church on Plymouth.
yeah, it was on Plymouth, and gosh, I don't know how many people it would seat, but there probably were a line of maybe 20 pews, but on each side of the aisle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, Mass was just every Sunday that we could go anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they had started Saturday night by that time, I can't remember, I think it was just on Sundays, and I think Frank went to one Mass and I went to another, so we could babysit in between.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
What do you remember about Father Kilgore? Did you have any kind of relationship with him, or just pretty much at Mass?
Yeah, pretty much at Mass, but, he was friendly. I can't remember that we had a prayer group at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think everybody in the parish just really, really liked him, and we were very, very sad when he left for a while, because he did.
Mm-hmm.
But that, I think, what have I got written down here, that he built the first church in 1948.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might have got that information.
Mm-hmm.
And then he left sometime later, but came back as the pastor in 1962.
Mm-hmm.
And, as I said, I didn't have any real personal relationship with him, maybe through a prayer group or something, but I don't remember anything particular.
Okay.
But he was just an all-around nice guy.
Mm-hmm. And what about his sermons? Do you remember anything about his sermons?
Sermons?
Yeah.
To tell you the truth,
Okay, that's
I
okay.
probably heard about half of them because I had a child or two with me. You know? So, anyway, you know, as I wrote down here, he was always friendly and always welcome.
Okay.
So,
What other priests do you remember through the years that you particularly maybe liked?
Yeah, Father Roberts.
Oh yeah,
You remember him?
I do. Father Walter Roberts.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he was just, he was a good friend, really. Came to the house and we had a good relationship with him.
Uh-huh.
And then Father Jim Blaney
Oh yes.
and, oh heavens, I got a whole bunch of them. Father Basic, who
Oh,
was
yeah.
a student there, you know, he's just, you know, he might be Pat's age.
I think a few years older.
Few
Yeah.
years older,
Yeah.
you think? Okay. And then there was Father Hollywood,
Mm-hmm.
Father Flater, and Father Cooney.
Went to Immaculate Heart School. Tell me any memories about that, Marian, about maybe the kind of education they got.
I think they always had wonderful teachers and a wonderful principal. And I'm trying to, Sister Maria Meal was the last principal, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I particularly liked her. And I did a little bit of, what do you call it,
Tutoring?
tutoring under Sister Maria Meal.
Did you?
Yeah, uh-huh.
And that's when Kevin was still going there, or after he had
No, I think.
after he was
It could-
older?
It would be, yeah, I think it was during the time that Kevin was still there.
Mm-hmm.
But then I get a little bit mixed up because I did some CCD on Sunday. teachings,
Oh,
you know.
did you? Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I kind of get that.
Okay. Well, tell me about the CCD. Where? First of all, where did you do that?
Well, we did that in the school
Okay.
after Mass
After Mass on Sunday.
on Sunday.
Okay.
And we might have done it in the basement for a little while too,
Mhm.
depending on how available that was, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can remember, and I won't be able to remember her name now, one little girl who I became very friendly with, her and her family, and they moved to Holland or someplace, so
Uh-huh.
I lost track of her, but yeah, I used to do a CCD program.
Okay. What age kids did you have? The little ones, or?
Well, I had probably, well, they had to be big enough to be able to read. No, they were second or third graders.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Frank was kind of a principal, like, he used to kind of walk around because there was more than one classroom. You know.
Ah. Okay.
So he would kind of check in on us a little bit.
Okay. So he was there at the time, kind of making everybody was well behaved.
Yes, they were all well.
Was that a problem?
No, I didn't think so, but,
Uh-huh.
you know, he probably felt like he was doing something then too, and as long as I was there, you know.
Yeah.
And our kids must have been able to stay at home by themselves by that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you remember? Did you have materials from the books or something?
Yeah,
Okay.
they supplied all the materials that we needed, and I don't know whether they came from the school or whether there was a separate, maybe there was a separate CCD program, wouldn't you think?
I would think so.
Supplied,
Yeah. Yeah.
the books.
So later, then you did some tutoring in the school.
Yeah.
Would that have been reading or math or?
I think it was mostly reading.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It was mostly reading. I just have kind of not real clear recollections of it, but I'm sure I did that. And you know, it's funny when you don't have to record this, but the kids were helping me remember all I did.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what else do you have on your paper that you did?
Let's see. Well, Stephen Ministry.
Oh yes. Tell me about
Did
that.
for 10 years.
Uh huh.
And we had quite a group of women, and they were given, what would you say, people to call on, people with problems who needed somebody to talk to.
I see.
And then we would meet maybe once a month and talk about any needs that we had as ministers, you know. But they would make their own arrangements about seeing the people who wanted to be helped by them, you know. Maybe it was just listening, you know, didn't have to necessarily be telling them what to do and when to do it. They were just needed somebody to listen to them. They had some problems.
Right.
So.
Right. How did you, I mean, you were instrumental in bringing the Stephen Minister program to IHM, weren't you?
I think so, and I'm trying to think where it started, because I went to Baltimore for some training.
Okay, but you had heard about it and thought we should do that here, or?
I don't know that I started it, Deb. Maybe somebody did it before me, and I just became part of it, and finally, I think Betty Rao was a part of it, if I remember. I just don't have.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. So anyway, you were involved with that for 10 years, and and so you were assigned to a number of people over those 10 years that you visited.
I didn't visit them. I kind of headed it, and then selected people who wanted to be Stephen ministers, and found places for them to visit, people to call on, and you know, just and not call on once. They made like they were clients, and they went often to see them.
Right, like every week for
it could be.
Who knows how long, right?
Yeah, right. And then later on, with that, Pat Jennings started to work quite closely with me. And as it went on in all those years, then we decided that it needed new blood. So we took it to the parish, and they didn't offer any kind of help at all. We met or talked to people about would they like to do it, would they take it over, you know, and nobody wanted to take the leadership on, so then it just dissolved.
Right, and you felt at that time that the pastor wasn't
particularly
helpful or right.
Yeah, it was like he didn't care whether it went on or not. And
that's too bad. Yeah.
Pastor was.
Well, again, if you said it was 10 years, and did you say you started in '89?
Did
Did you say that, or did we? Oh,
that's right.
I'll get them.
We don't need it.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it would have been Father Julian.
Father Julian. Yeah, it certainly could be. And
so it just kind of faded out because of
because we couldn't get any new leadership, and we thought that it needed new blood. And so Pat Jennings and I, you know, asked and didn't get any help, offered any help, so we just let it go.
Yeah, that's too
Which
bad.
we thought was too bad, because I think maybe we didn't have responses to how much help we were, but people came to us, so they must have felt that Stephen ministry would be of some help to them. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So, anything else on that side of the paper?
They wrote activities here. We were in the prayer chain.
Oh, okay.
For years.
Okay.
And we, how did we do that? We had our names in the bulletin, and if they wanted any help or any prayers, we would assign a minister to them, and we had several ministers in that.
Yeah.
I wish I had my book here yet. It's probably home. But
and then somebody would call you on the phone, Marian, as part of the chain and say, add so and so to the prayer list, or
yes, they often called and asked for prayers for soul, or put them on the prayer chain. And then we had women who specifically prayed. You know, that was kind of a job they did. So that when somebody called and asked for prayers, why we called the first one on the prayer chain, and then she had a group of women she called, and then she called another person, and that person called some women.
Oh, wow.
And then the third one could have been, and then she would call someone, and so we probably had, 15, at least 15 people to pray for some requests that somebody made.
That was nice, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, here I've got, no, this is about the prayer group. I've got a note down here that it was started by Father Joyce in the 70s.
Okay. That's good to
That was
know.
the prayer group, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. I've got here 66, they built a new church, but I think it was a little later than that, wasn't it?
No,
I
that's
thought
right.
66.
Yep, I think it opened in 66. They
Yeah.
were building it in 65, yeah.
And then I joined the choir.
Oh, yes.
At an early stage, and Monique Stouffer was the leader.
Yes, I remember, uh-huh.
And then Paul, what was Paul's last name?
Oh, I know who you mean.
I don't know, I've got some of those other directories there, and
Yeah.
if you want me to look it up.
No, it's okay. I have it written down.
Okay, and then Lori,
Lori, right. Well, we had Ron in there, and we had, a couple guys. Ron and Bill. Remember Bill, the big guy?
yeah, now I do.
Yeah.
I forgot.
I know it. And then there was Jeff. We had 3 men. We had quite a bit of turnover until Jane Van Houten came.
Okay,
Between Lori,
Yeah.
we had a bunch of turnover. Or before Lori, anyway, between Monique, I think,
Yeah.
and Jane,
yeah.
there was
There
some
was
turnover.
probably a time that I couldn't do it because Frank and I were dividing times with going to mass and babysitting, and
Right,
stuff like
right,
that,
right.
so,
But anyway, so you started singing in the choir.
yeah.
Now, is that something you'd always enjoyed doing, singing?
Oh, yeah, I just loved singing in the choir, and then, of course, when the Resurrection Choir came, I was very active in that.
Mhm.
And I would still sing in it, but transportation is a problem. And if Patty's going, and she'll take me then, I
Yeah.
can go and sing in the Resurrection Choir too.
Yeah. Did you have any formal training when you were younger?
No, I always just loved to sing.
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
great.
Probably in high school, maybe I joined
Yeah.
a group,
Yeah.
I don't have any memories of that.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't do it when we, before we joined IHL.
No, or when you were first married. It's
Yeah.
after the kids were older. Yeah. Yeah.
uh-huh,
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
uh-huh. So, let's see, choir. Let me see if there's.
Let's
any
see what we
other
got on
side.
the other side there.
Oh, the choir and the prayer group. And,
Yeah, we got that and
and,
prayer chain. Stephen Ministers.
Well, yeah, but this prayer group, we still
Oh.
meet.
Oh, yes. Tell us about that.
Yeah, at one time we had probably, I'm gonna say 15 members of the prayer group.
Okay.
And we would meet, I think we still had met on Tuesdays. And all of a sudden, a certain number of them decided to leave. And at the time, it was when Obama was running for office. And I opened my big mouth and said that I voted for Obama. And I was tabled as pro-abortion. So part of the group left.
Oh, my word.
And that group is still going,
Okay.
and they have an awful lot of the young people as part of that group.
Do they? And so that's called the Tuesday morning prayer group.
Yeah. Tuesday
And that
morning.
was started by Father Joyce, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then we just continued it all these years, but as I said, a certain segment of them broke off.
Had you normally talked about politics in prayer group?
No.
You just happened to mention
Certainly,
it.
As I said, any good Catholic would not be pro-abortion.
Right,
It just didn't make any sense at all.
right.
But maybe there were other ways too that we didn't fill the bill for
Yeah.
some people, and
Yeah.
I can tell you, the group that left was Yola Campbell. She kind of pushed it, and Mary Paston was in that group, and what's her name? but she was a real big part of it too. But anyway.
That's too bad, yeah.
It was too bad.
So did it kind of end on a sour note then?
Not particularly.
Oh, okay.
If they wanted to go, they could go.
Okay.
And we continued on. And
Oh, you did, okay.
Oh, yeah. We're still going strong.
Oh, good, okay.
Yeah, every Tuesday morning.
Okay, good.
And we probably have now, when we're all together, maybe about 10 people who come.
Mm-hmm. Good,
Yeah.
good. And how do you choose what you're studying? Do you do different books of the Bible every year, or how?
Each of us takes a turn, and we plan what we want to do. Now, I do the readings. Where did I put my book that I just pulled? It's with.
Oh, I might have moved it.
Yeah, it's just up
Oh,
here.
yes,
It's
yes,
God's Word among us.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
okay.
And then we do have some prayers that we had assembled early on, and we got them all printed up, and we use those as prayers to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have petitions,
Mm-hmm.
and of course we start out having coffee, and we share an awful lot. You know.
That's nice,
They're
yeah.
all very close friends.
Mhm.
You know, and if you need anything, they're right there to help you.
Yeah.
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 So.
And so you've been doing that since the 70s?
Yeah.
Wow.
But not that complete group, see, because
Right,
some
right, I understand,
Yeah.
I understand, yeah.
broke off
Yeah,
from us.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we're still meeting. Ruth Tierney is very active in
That's
it.
great.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
So yeah, we still go every Tuesday morning.
Good, okay. All right.
Yeah.
What else on your list there?
All right, let me look and see. Oh, one of the questions here is, what's different at IHM now that you miss about former times?
Yes.
And I'm saying I'm unable to work on the Women's Guild anymore, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think outside of being a part of a young group, I feel fulfilled because we have that prayer meeting, you know, and see a lot of the gals that I have had a lot of relations with, you know. Now I don't see Mary Passano very often, but then she's down at the lake an awful lot too, so
Yeah.
I can see her, you know.
Yeah.
But our continued prayer group is Bernie Mac, you know Bernie Mac.
Yes.
And Phyllis Kozlowski, is that her? No, that's not her name.
Kosminski.
Kosminski, yeah. Lou
Morrow.
Morrow. No, not Lou Morrow.
No.
She
Lou
broke away
Moran?
from us.
No.
No.
Lou, oh yeah. Lou.
It starts with an H. Anyway, she's in it, and as I said, Vi Barth and Bernie Mac, Virginia Sherwood.
Oh yeah. Good.
And that's about all of
Yeah.
us now that are
Yeah.
left. today.
And you get to go to church at Immaculate Heart. One of your kids will take you over there for church.
Definitely. Yeah, I still enjoy. In fact, Maureen often takes me to early mass.
Okay.
And then we join a group afterwards for coffee and
Oh, good.
stuff afterwards, you know, so
Yeah.
and I can do that. Otherwise, I have to go to Marywood with Maureen. Or, well, Kevin said he'd go with me if we went to Marywood, but he's not happy with Immaculate Heart. So.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I
So
don't
that's
expect
he's
him
not
to
going to go there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, you know, Deacon Ken visited me. He wasn't there yet when Frank was in the
No.
hospital.
No.
Deacon Ken, I had a hip replacement,
Yes.
and he.
About you said 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he came up to see me, and he was going to give me communion, and I was in such pain I wouldn't let him touch it. And now I feel so bad about what's happened to him.
I know what.
I saw his wife today, and I didn't think to say to her, "You are now a deaconess," but I don't see you sitting at the altar like he did.
Right. Exactly.
But I didn't get to see her. So.
You will.
Let's see, yeah. Oh, you know who else was real active with was Sister Ann Michael Farnsworth.
Oh. Okay.
Gosh, I don't remember.
When you were doing Stephen Ministers, I would
Ministry.
say,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't she the pastoral assistant or
Yes,
something
she
at that
was.
time?
Yeah, she was.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I think she went with us when we had meetings.
Okay.
Like I went to Bolivar once and I went to St. Louis once.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Good.
Okay. And I just, feel like the parish was always there for me. If there was anything I needed, all I needed to do was call, and I think that would still be with Father Nevin. The same way, he realizes that I still am a member and I don't get there often. And, now that the deacon is unable to get around, nobody from Immaculate Heart comes to visit at Clark to see anybody there, whereas St. Stephen's will send somebody over to Clark.
I see. I see.
But now we have the chaplain too, so that.
Right, and you do have Mass with communion
Yes,
once a week here. And what day is that?
Friday.
Friday. So and then you get to Immaculate Heart most weekends. So
Most weekends.
they probably feel like
Yeah, right.
your spiritual needs are being met.
They are.
That's nice.
Yeah, let's see. Well, as I wrote down here, Jim has always been there for me. If I needed him, all I have to do is call him. And I'm sure, the deacon would have come.
Yep. That's great.
So
Good.
I love the parish. I would hate not to be active with it, as active as I can be, and I certainly intend to be buried from there.
Yep. Yep.
I hope somebody will sing in the choir for my funeral.
They will. They will. Well, you've done a lot for Immaculate Heart, and people appreciate that.
Well, it's a little different now just because I'm so much older and I don't participate in the activities. Like I don't go to the guild things anymore. So I don't have a one-on-one with them,
When you were first in the guild in the late 50s and the 60s, were you in a circle?
Yes, I was.
Okay. What circle? Do you remember what circle? No. Or who was in it? Or
No, but we had a crowd and we used to meet at each other's houses when we started out.
Mhm.
And then, I don't know, did we, and we became a women's guild, I think, and we would meet in the basement of the church.
Okay.
As I remember it anyway. Yeah. So.
And your kids never had any experiences at Immaculate Heart that stick out in your mind? Anytime they got in trouble, or
No.
they did something really good, or really...
Yeah, it was Patrick, I think, who, what do I want to say about him? He had gone there, certainly for kindergarten. When they've had kindergarten.
No, we did not
No.
have kindergarten.
Okay.
He probably went to Mulek
Yeah,
for kindergarten.
he went to Mulek, that's right, yeah. And then, there was one of them that Sister Verona really took a liking to, and it was Michael.
Must have been
Yeah.
Tim. No, it must have been Tim.
Tim,
If it was Sister
yeah.
Verona, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
hmm
yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah. No,
But nobody ever called and said, Mrs. Geary, get over here immediately. Your child is...
they did not. Isn't that wonderful? No, such
It's
perfect
such good
children.
kids.
Perfect children took after their father. So,
Right.
it's home to me now. I would hate to have to leave and not be able to go back.
Yeah.
I love the people that I recognize there, and I know, and it's certainly not all the younger generation. There are many of them, like you and people who know my children, who recognize me,
Right.
and it's just where I belong.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you for talking to me today. I appreciate it.